Hurricanes, written by Sean Taylor. Focus question. How do people use science to help prepare for hurricanes? Words to know. Air pressure, Caribbean, chaotic, condenses, disperse, evacuate, eyewall, hurricane watch, intensity, satellite, storm surge, structure, sustained, tropical depression, tropical storm. Tables of contents. A hurricane is coming. 4. What is a hurricane? 6. How do hurricanes form? 9. Where do hurricanes form? 13. How do hurricanes are classified? 14. How do we study hurricanes? 18. How do we predict hurricanes? 20. How will we prepare for hurricanes? 21. Conclusion 22. Explore more 22. Glossary 23. Index 24. A hurricane is coming. This is just from the National Hurricane Center in Miami. Hurricane watch is in effect of Florida East Coast from Florida north to Flagler Beach, including Lake Okeechobee. Hurricane Francis is about 555 miles east-south Palm Beach. It's moving towards the west-northern about 14 miles per hour. The messenger crackles over a radio of a small Florida cafe. The patrons look outside a warm sunny day and then go to see for any signs of approaching storm. There are none. However, the television shows a satellite image of a gigantic spiraling storm. A dotted line shows the hurricane path and a shaded wedge show a hurricane might hit the coast. People in the cafe have already been hit with one hurricane this season. They know they must prepare to buy some food, plywood to board up windows. Others get supplies at grocery store such as water, food, and batteries. The next morning, the wind speed picks up and the sky clouds over. Some people farther down the coast evacuate or leave their homes to go to safe areas. Wind reached hurricane strength, bending over palm trees as they made of rubber. The wind rips off buildings, and flying objects becomes deadly. High waves and rising water flood low-lying areas on the coast. Falling trees break power lines. Some residents who were not evacuated into the darkness of their homes listening to the storm's progression on their battery-powered radio. Finally, the storm moves inland and the wind slowly slows down. But drenching rains and flood remains. The next day, the sun comes out and people begin to costly clean up. What's a hurricane? We all have experienced wind and with rainstorms, but what makes a hurricane different? Hurricanes are gigantic circular storms that can be hundreds of kilometers wide. When they occur in the Pacific Ocean, they are called typhoons. In the Indian Ocean, they are called severe tropical cyclones. In the Atlantic Ocean, they are called hurricanes. No matter what they're called, winds over hundreds of kilometers per hour, inches of rain, and high seas called depths, sometimes billions of dollars in damage. Hurricanes have a distinct structure that can be seen on satellite photos. Clouds extended as spiraling arms for hundreds of kilometers around the center of a hurricane is called an eye. Winds become more and more intense from the edge of the storm to the eye. The eye walls where wind rushing towards the center suddenly turn upward. The upward moving air rapidly cools and the rain begins to fall. Most of the rainfall occurs in the eye. Sometimes rainfall reaches 20 millimeters, 0.78 inch rain per hour, which can dump 15 to 30 centimeters, 6 to 12 inch on one area over several days. Yet inside the eye it's often calm and sunny. Most hurricane eye are 30 to 60 kilometers, 20 to 40 miles in diameter. In the eye of a hurricane, peacefulness will not last long. Soon the eye will move and the sudden force of the other side of the storm will hit. As hurricane approaches shore, the combination of high wind and low air pressure actually raises the sea of level of storm higher than normal. Scientists call this a storm surge. It extends for miles around the center of hurricane and floods many low coastal lines. Flooding caused by storm surge is a major source of property damage from hurricanes. How hurricanes form. Hurricanes form over tropical oceans worldwide. These tropical storms tend to be seasonal. They usually form in the summers of the northern and southern hemisphere. The storm when energy from the sun heats the water near the equator. More moist air evaporating from the ocean is lighter than the cold, dry air above it, which then sinks down to take place of the warmer air. The process creates a low-pressure area called tropical depression. Do you know in northern hemisphere hurricane winds rotate counterclockwise, while in southern hemisphere hurricane winds rotate clockwise? If a tropical storm does gain more energy, wind speeds up the thick spiral bands of clouds spread out from its center. Storm. When the wind speeds are greater than 119 kilometers per hour, 74 miles per hour, storm officially becomes a hurricane. Naming the system. When a tropical storm officially becomes a hurricane, it's given a name. The yearly name list of each region of the globe reflects all nationalities because hurricanes affect people in many countries. Here were the names of the Atlantic Ocean hurricanes for 2010. Alex, Bonnie, Colin, Danielle, Earl, Fiona, Gaston, Hermie, Igor, Julia, Carl, Lisa, Matthew, Nicole, Paula, Richard, Sherry, Thomas, Virginie, and Walter. Certainly, hurricanes in the northern hemisphere move west, the north, and then they turn around the northern. This path takes hurricanes away from the center and away from the warm ocean water that is fueled. In the ocean hemisphere, hurricanes typically travel west, south, and then turn southeast, which also makes them away from warm ocean water. As hurricanes move over cooler area and lose land, they lose much of their energy. The wind slows down and the storm eventually disperses.